And welcome back to today's Partyline Talk Show. Ross Montoya-Ugits. This Partyline Talk Show is dedicated to discussion about the need for the replacement of Step-by-Step Child and Family Center's roof. Need a new roof? And to that end, K103 is going to hold and host a radiothon on behalf of Step by Step, and I am in studio with Alana Atwin, Debbie DeLille, outgoing executive director, and Natalie Bova, who is the new executive director of Step by Step. The clarification was on the question that came in was that at the time when Step by Step was in the old pool hall,
1983,
way back at the foundation, when they needed to move from there, the community gave them a place. And of course, that was the old Protestant school, where you were there for years. And that was not an ideal place. And that was, aside from the need to expand the service and the facilities and justification for that. It did happen. So I hope the community remembers that, Because I'm in that building, so I look at it and I say, well, I look at the old porch that was an office. And that's really where it started. Really, really, really humble beginnings, but with a powerful vision. I think that vision needs to continue to exist in the community. And I wonder sometimes, you guys are there, you're in the front line. Do you think, Debbie, you've been involved now for, gee whiz, is that
28 years.
28 years, a lifetime, really. In that time, do you, and I don't know, this is maybe a controversial question, but do you think that the community has lost sight of what that was? I always think of the because I know what the history is in terms of the 7 original.
I don't think they've lost sight of it. I think that they put their confidence and trust in what we do. So it's not like we have to keep on saying this is what we do.
Yeah.
And I have to say that they did contribute to to this new building. From 1983 till we built those golf tournaments that everybody participated in, raised almost $1 million. So that was put aside for the new building. So It wasn't like we didn't have to the fundraise per se like we are now. So if we could fundraise $890,000, for a new building, I'm sure the community can support $100,000 for a roof.
Yeah, I would hope, like we talked about it, excuse me, at the beginning, in terms of the sort of internal fundraisers that have taken place, and maybe not kind of achieving what we would like to see happen. I know that there are. Like Gardy came up here, Gardy Winoru, for instance. Their parents are expected to take part in the fundraising activities for the school, to be able to continue, because they don't have. And I wonder sometimes if maybe the success of Step by Step has sort of made a victim of an illusion of success, and saying, well, they must have funding for all this. They must have a basket, a trunk full of cash, jewels, rubies, diamonds, and pearls to have that building. Well,
I'm gonna say that 20 years ago, we were maybe even more. I don't know. Anyway, all the community organizations were looking in the future, and I'm a visionary, so I really like to see what's going to, kind of, and you kind of get an idea of what's going to happen. And we were, I guess, requested or informed or what we could do about contingency funding. Mm-hmm. Now that was mostly, we were in the old building, so that was about, operations.
Right.
That's to keep the quality of inclusion. Where else does inclusion exist? Mm-hmm. As well as it does here in Kahnawake. And so to keep that going, that was a contingency. So if we had to tap into the contingency for operational funding, some of it, then because we already do, we already have been for the past 3 years since operational funding are cutbacks. Mm-hmm. And that's internal to our community as well as the funding agencies outside. So we have had to do that. So if we don't, And if we use some of that funding towards the roof, then we're not going to have the quality of services that we have. Maybe we're going to have to take less children. Maybe we're going to have to diversify some other way. Maybe cutting by staff, any which way you could think about it. So in order to maintain quality, we need to have this fundraising for the structure that this quality is living in.
Yeah. One of the things that I would say that just having watched how fundraising goes in the community over the last 10 or 12 years that I've sort of seen it 15 years, is that Kahnawake does have a heart. And the K103 has hosted a number of very successful fundraising radiothons. And in spite of the fact that it always comes up where there's a sort of saturation of people, because people need funding. And we see every day, I mean, you guys see it at the stop sign up there, the three-way stop. Yeah. At every given point in time of the year, I mean, we have people out with buckets, we have people for teams, for what have you. But on the big ones, I mean, the community has come through. So, I mean, I don't think I really need to say to the community, have a heart. Let's start to think about how we can help step by step Child and Family Center meet the need of replacing the roof, because it's an awful thing. Debbie, you talk about the vision to say, I mean, how do you decide between quality of service versus physical needs, and having to juggle that off and then reach into that pocket to have less. But if you don't have a roof, if the roof, I mean, renders the whole building uninhabitable, then we don't have anything for anybody.
Exactly.
So that is the challenge. I mean, I guess Alana, you're still going to be doing in-house fundraising, fundraising kinds of things. What kind of fundraising have you done?
We've done mostly raffles. We've done those chocolate bars, and we always get a lot of flack, but those are the best ones. And it's again, we're stuck because we can say, well, let's try and sell tulip bulbs, let's try and do Canadian Tire Money fundraiser, but we know that the chocolate bars are tried and true. We usually raise up, I think, about $6,000 a year with those, because they sell, and people sell them, and that's what it works. And we love to sell. We tried granola bars one year. Holy cow, it was a disaster.
Granola,
like healthy granola bars.
I'm about chocolate, damn it.
People were returning them. They didn't like them. So we've tried so many different things, and the most successful that we've done in the past have been like the Disney on Ice tickets, raffles, and the chocolates. We've tried gift wrap and all those kind of jewelry. Oh God, jewelry, that was another one.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, well, what about auctions and stuff like that? Having an auction and that, and then I'm thinking, well, maybe that wouldn't work either. It's kind of like raffles. I mean.
And well, I think part of it too, and I've been in that position too as a working mom, and going back to when you asked about, have people lost that heart or lost that, and it's not that they've lost it. I think what happens is people, there's an expectation that we've created about the quality of services. Yeah. So I think, and I've been in that situation, like as a parent, I'm paying daycare, I'm paying $7.55 a day for you to do this. What more do you need from me? Yeah. But what we really have to transmit to the community now is the $7.55 a day that we charge for daycare. What is that providing? And I tell you, it's bare bones. I'm able to see on the outside, like I don't deal with the finances. That's not my department. But when I look at what other CPEs, other daycares come into our building a lot for visits, like educators from up north and different other Aboriginal communities, and they're floored at what we have. We have,
I'm sure.
Physiotherapy, occupational therapy, psychologist, speech and language, culture and language, music. I have all these amazing programs, extras, the additional staff in the classrooms, resource staff. None of that is covered by the $7.55. It's all additional. Yeah. And I think coming from a parent's perspective, because that's the way I'm trying to see it, because that's the way I have to communicate it, is that if we take that $755 and just offer what we have to, and take all the extra fundraising and all the extra, project funding that we get, and use that for the roof, which wouldn't be possible anyway because it's not set aside for that, then all of those things that I just mentioned will suffer. And so I think I have to help in my role as communications is to try to relay that message to parents. Say, if we don't raise this money, it's going to take away from other things. And we don't want that to happen, because we see firsthand what the needs are of the families and the children in the community.
Yeah.
We don't want to see that happen.
You know why? When you're talking about that $7 a day figure, I predate $7 a day. And using a daycare. I remember bringing my first child to daycare in Montreal when I was a student, and at that point in time we were paying $20 a day, $20 a day, and that was just to cover their cost. It was in a church basement on Sherbrooke, off of Sherbrooke, and so $7 a day. I mean, I'm talking back to the 1970s. And that was quite a bite out of a student budget, to say $20 a day. But what are you going to do with your child? Okay, you'll leave it in the hands of a stranger who's going to charge you that anyways.
I think now private's about $40 a day.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have 3 people working in order to cover childcare for a year. I mean, so $750 a day. I mean, that's a remarkable thing that's sort of extended to us and is a general thing in the province right now. But it is really a drop in the bucket. Doesn't really cover very much. And this is just to kind of have you be encouraged today. You've already received an anonymous donation of $50.
Wow!
So
okay.
I'm sure that anonymous person will be in touch.
That's motivating.
Yeah. So you'll be able to see the smiles and the reaction. As just people know now today, I have a young Adam King is in here. He's an intern working. He's doing the videotaping of this program. So it will be aired on a community television station very soon in the next week. So anyway, stay tuned for that. I've never actually seen any of them have been recorded. So anyhow, that's a good news. That's a start, $50, and so everybody who could say that, $50 really helps. So with funding right now, I mean, just fundraising as it exists right now, how close are you to what's again the figures? 100 and what thousand?
100,000. So we're $97,000 away.
And minus $50.
Minus
$50. So that's really good. You're listening to K103's Partyline Talk Show. If you're just tuning in, it sounds like we're having a party on the Partyline. And, in spite of the fact that there is a dire need, you have people who are very, very engaged in the work that they do, very committed to the work that they do, are visionary about the work that they do, and that's to the benefit of our whole community. So that's the nature of this program today, is to make the announcement that K103 will be holding a radiothon for the replacement of the roof of Step by Step Child and Family Center. We're going to take a break right now, and then we're going to come back and carry on to the top of the hour. Don't go away.